Hi everyone, warm welcome to all. We are entering in one of the most karmically significant time of the year from 26th of March till 5th of December when Ketu is moving through Magha Nakshatra, its own Nakshatra in Leo sign, after about 6 years since its previous transit to Sagittarius when Ketu was in Moola Nakshatra around January 2020, around COVID time. But this time the energy is little different. Mula uproots from the root itself, and Magha questions the throne, the position, and the status that we carry. So, this transit is not only about endings, it is about the rightful authority versus the false one, the fake one. It is also about our ancestral karma, our pride, legacy, power, our family line, spirituality, and the collapse of whatever has been hollow behind the image. Magha is the nakshatra of our lineage. It carries the energy of our ancestors, pitris, the inherited blessings that comes with that, even curses and the burdens. Also our family reputation, our bloodline memories and power. It represents the throne, crown, the feeling that something has been handed down to us from somewhere in the past, maybe past lives. That is why Magha can give status, visibility, respect, authority, and recognition. It can also snatch it away from us. But it also demands us to reflect on our worth. If we are worthy of that seat we are sitting on, and if we fulfill our karma with legacy, with humbleness, or we are having ego about it, that is where the Ketu becomes very powerful. Ketu does not care for any appreciation, titles, or whether something looks impressive from the outside. Anything falls in this area can start getting stripped down. Ketu cuts the illusion, attachments, and makes us see what is spiritually finished, even if it still looks like glamorous, prestigious, or socially successful. So when Ketu enters Magha Nakshatra, the soul begins a very deep audit. Sometimes this happens gently through our inner detachment or through some sudden events that force us to step back, step down, and step into a very different kind of power, maybe inner power. See, Ketu in Magha can remove the false crown before it reveals the true one. In our personal chart, check where Leo falls, because that house becomes the visible field of the transformation that this Ketu in Magha will carry. That's where the karmic or editing is happening on the outer level, and here it will be like where you may lose your attachment to the visibility, to your image, any praise or any position. And Scorpio is treated as Ketu's own sign. Scorpio shows where you have been purified at a far deeper level in the ways other people cannot even see it. Think of here Ketu and Leo as the throne and Scorpio as the underground chamber below that throne. So Leo shows the external side here, where change becomes visible, and Scorpio shows the internal side where the emotional toxins, our control patterns, our hidden fears, our obsession, any karmic debts, our survival habits, and the psychic heaviness are being released. The previous transit of Ketu in Magha Nakshatra was in 2007, 1989 and 1970. Those impact will not repeat literally here, but we can know the intensity of those impact. You can go back to those periods if they were impactful personally or with respect to anything, even if your family memory. Check what changed in your status, your authority, with some father figures, anything in the family, any change of power in the pride or reputation, some inheritance of responsibility, even, or the area of life ruled by Leo in your chart. If you remember, even January 2020, when Ketu was in Mula Nakshatra, many people felt the uprooting side of Ketu very strongly. It can feel less like uprooting from the root with Magha Nakshatra and more like removal from the status of whatever has lost its authenticity. Now, Ketu will give different results with change in its each Navamsha position after every 2 months. And Navamsha shows the internal results, how we feel about that transit. And it also shows the strength of the planet. Ketu will cross while in Magha, in Cancer Navamsha, Gemini, Taurus, and Aries Navamsha while in Magha. The Cancer Navamsha can be deeply emotional here, being the water element. Our old family burdens and grief can rise here. Expect healing also, any mother related issues, emotional insecurities, ancestral pain, or personal weakness. All of these can become like louder here. We may feel an unusually sentimental, emotionally detached from the people or the places we thought that defined us. Then Ketu in Gemini Navamsha will impact the air element. Now the karmic work shift into our mind, our thoughts, in our communication, any sibling related matters, the way we message, talk about it, our dual identity, any documentation work, paperwork, contracts, media, and even travel will be impacted. This can be a very revealing phase. We may become little quieter and rethink on what we say publicly. We may suddenly lose interest in explaining ourselves. Any deception, gossip, sleep narratives, or any mental tension can get exposed here. This is the phase where Ketu starts cutting through the noise. And then Ketu will enter Taurus Navamsha. The earth element gets activated here. Now it is about the materialistic side, our values, money, comfort, our possessions, material security, our food habits, the way we talk, any sensual attachments, and also our self-worth. This phase can detach us from whatever we are clinging to for comfort. Our financial habits can be questioned and the material priorities can change here. We may suddenly realize what we felt stable was only familiar but not truly nourishing to us. This phase can be deeply grounding but also uncomfortable for those who were over attached to comfort or their fixed approach. See, Taurus here is a stubborn sign, fixed sign. So that particular behavior should be corrected the most. And finally, Aries Navamsha with fire element is the sharpest phase out of all. This is where the transit becomes more fiery, direct, action oriented, and decisive. Expect ego clashes, endings, and exits that can happen very fast here. Our identity and role can change, but courage will also born from the detachment with some real power. If the earlier phases and the earlier Navamsha time prepared the soul, this final phase can make us move and take action. So, overall, this transit begins with emotional surfacing, moves into mental cleansing, then value correction, and finally some decisive action. Now, let us see how this Ketu in Magha Nakshatra will impact us personally. And do check your Leo and Scorpio sign placement for the impact, along with transit Ketu's Navamsha position in your chart, in your Navamsha chart. Here, Leo shows where the visible story is changing, and Scorpio shows internally why it had to change. Some hidden pressures can be released, and our soul is detoxified. So, yes, Ketu, Leo, and Scorpio are heavily involved here. Leo through the outer transformation, and Scorpio through the inner purification. Start with Aries. For Aries, this transit activates your creativity. Something related to your children's life, romance, your self-expression, the passion that you have in life. And with that comes your performance, any speculation or speculative activities in stock market, and the need to be seen for who you truly are. This is the time for emotional release, trust, remove the fear of some hidden karma or your weaknesses. Something may change in your love life with children or in your creative life, but the real lesson is about the emotional honesty, how true you are with your own self. It is best to create things for self, but do not hold on to any romantic story that has already completed its karma. Taurus. For Taurus, this impacts your home life, your family roots, property, anything related to your mother, your emotional security, and the ancestral foundation. Internally, your focus is on your marriage, your partnership, commitments, any karmic mirrors, or one to one relationships. So, the outer story may be about home or family, but the deeper story here is about what your relationships are reflecting back to you. You may rearrange your living situation and get emotionally detached from the old family roles. This is the time to make your home peaceful and not just more comfortable or fancy here. Gemini. For Gemini, this transit works through your communication, your efforts, your courage, anything related to your siblings, your skill enhancement, your writing and speaking abilities, having some short travels, and the way you project your ideas and voice in the public. Internally, this time highlights your health, any internal conflict, the discipline in your lifestyle, your service oriented approach, your work patterns, daily habits, and the stress that you carry about all these matters. So, this is very important transit for how you speak, what you say, and what words are doing to your nervous system. Speak less if needed, but speak very clearly. And do not waste your energy on providing yourself to people who are committed to misunderstand you always. Cancer. For Cancer, Ketu in Magha activates your financial zone, your family values, your speech, your food habits, your self-worth, all your stored resources, and your emotional security with all these matters. Internally, your focus is on your children, your love life, your creativity, your personal joy and happiness, and also your emotional expression. So this transit can change both your emotional mindset and your heart's expression. You may detach yourself with your spending habits, comfort, or the way you are speaking that no longer reflects who truly you are. This is the time to let your words carry dignity, and your values should get better with time. Leo. For Leo, this is one of the biggest identity reset of the year. Ketu is moving directly through your sign. So your old version of you may begin to feel lighter, little emptier, quieter, or less compelling than before. You may lose interest in constant visibility and step back from titles, roles, expectations from others, or performance patterns that once defined you. But internally, it triggers your emotional roots, your home energy, your family karma, inner security, your mother related things, and your ancestral memories. So, this is not just an outer image reset, this is like a deep homecoming. This is the time to let the false crown fall. If the role or the version of you is fading, let it fade. What remains can be more truthful, soulful, and far more powerful than the persona you have outgrown. Virgo. For Virgo, this transit activates your inner world, your sleep patterns, gets you healing. There is loss of old attachment. You can go to foreign places, and karmas that work behind the scenes will be activated. But there is courage with clear communication, new learnings, and the way you use your strength. So, for Virgo, this can be a very internal transit with powerful outer consequences. Silence or any isolation can become medicine and bring you clarity in life. So now speak what has been purified inside you, and that works best for you. Libra. For Libra, your 11th house is activated to get you great rewards, gains, new network, goals, and new future plans. Expect some big social circle and recognition through your friends and the people that you align with. There is financial and family stability with better speech, good personal values, and your self worth. Also, you may detach from certain groups, people, your goals, maybe desires, and few collaborations. This is not the loss for no reason. It is a karmic editing time. If a network no longer matches your values, the separation can be grace for you. Scorpio. For Scorpio, this is a major transit that changes you internally. Your career, your work style, status, or visibility in your work can change. You may have new leadership role, authorities, responsibilities with good public life also. Ketu here can radically shift how you are seen in the society, what you want professionally, and how much value you place on your public image. You may receive new responsibilities without feeling attached to credits, and you will simply realize that success without any alignment feels empty. It is a self reinvention transit. Your identity, your body, your image, your emotional intensity, instinct to control outcomes, even your survival intelligence, all of these is being refined with this transit. The message is very strong here. Do not chase power that costs your peace of mind. Let your public life become an expression of your inner truth, not a compensation of your inner unrest. Sagittarius. For Sagittarius, your dharma, any fatherly matters, your gurus, teachers, your beliefs, any higher learning, foreign travel, your goals, even your faith and the story that you are living can be in the focus with this transit. Certainly, there is awakening, endings, some isolation, deep sleep you can gain. There is subconscious cleansing, spiritual surrender, and some hidden karmic release. So, this transit can deeply change your worldviews, the way you see life. Some old beliefs may fall away, some teachers may leave your path, and you may withdraw more in order to realign with a right philosophy of life. It is best to let faith mature here, and your old beliefs and the system that you were carrying so far should go now. Capricorn. For Capricorn, there is sudden transformation, psychological rebirth, triggering your finances, your resources, your health matters, or tax related matters, your hidden fears, anything related to inheritance, some secrets, and the karmic weaknesses can come in the focus. Also, your new desires can develop with some new goals of life, rewards, new friends, and new associations. So, the outer story may involve changing your alliances, changing your expectations around the support system, or deep shift in your trust. If a bond or a dependency or a financial mess is karmically finished, this transit can make it very clear to you. Just keep your energy clear with your commitments, and the rest will follow. Aquarius. For Aquarius, your marriage, your partnership, any contracts, your clients, business alliances, your public dealings, and the people who stand opposite to you in your life will be in the focus. Also, your career, bosses, your work style, your reputation, your public duty, leadership qualities, and the pressure of being seen in a certain way can trigger with this Ketu in Magha. So, relationships and career are speaking with each other very loudly now. A partnership may transform because your professional path is changing. So, your public role may change because a karmic relationship is finishing its lesson now. In any case, choose truth and honesty. That gives you the reality of life. Pisces. For Pisces, your health, discipline, your work routine, your service conditions, any conflicting patterns in your mind, and also your daily structure, the responsibility that you take, and how you use your energy each day can trigger with this Ketu in Magha Nakshatra. Your faith, then your father, your bosses, teacher related matters, anything related to travel, your belief system, maybe higher meaning in your life, and the world views can change. So this transit asks you to clean up both your daily life and also your deeper philosophy of life. If your routines are draining you, they definitely need some correction. If your beliefs are weak, they need some strengthening. Make your everyday life a reflection of your spiritual path and you will grow. That was all about the personal impact for all the signs. And overall, Ketu in Magha Nakshatra will purify our world for sure. It is not here to take the power away for no reason. It is here to remove the false power, the false pride, identity, any belongings, fake performances, the hierarchy pattern, and the false attachment to status will collapse. If we work with this transit consciously, it can become one of the most spiritually clarifying period of the year. Watch closely the Leo and the Scorpio placement in your chart. Watch the previous eco years of 2007, 1989 and 1970, or any personal or family stories connected to those period. Most importantly, see if we are holding on anything that our soul has already outgrown. That reflection alone can reveal a lot about what this Ketu in Magha transit wants us to transform in our life. That was all about this Ketu in Magha Nakshatra. I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for being here and listening to me. Wish you all a great time ahead. Do share your experiences in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.